Alright guys, this is Coach Reese here. This is going to be July 14th workout. It's Tuesday. So I got everything written down on little whiteboards here for you guys. I'm going to show them to you in just a second here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate all the movements one at a time going through on the whiteboard. And then I'm going to explain some points of interest or what to be looking for while we're doing these movements. As well as if we are at home, if we don't have this type of equipment, I'm going to kind of give you an example to be able to utilize whatever you have at the house, examples, stuff like that, to be able to get something similar or exactly the same as what we're doing in here. So it's a little bit different today. We have a strength portion, and there's a couple movements that you may not be able to be used to. So let's go ahead, let's dive into the warm-up here, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and show it to you, right? And then I will go over it for you guys, okay? So this is what it looks like, okay? So what you're gonna do for the start is you're gonna start off with 30 single unders, right? So we're just gonna get our jump ropes out, guys, and we're gonna go ahead and do for 30 seconds doing some jump ropes. If we don't have jump ropes, guys, maybe just kind of implement some jumping jacks. If we're not gonna be doing jumping jacks, just kind of think of some penguin taps, guys. Jumping up and just tapping on to those hips there, okay? And then we got 8 dumbbell Romanian deadlifts. So we're gonna grab our dumbbells, okay? And now from here, I'm gonna have a soft bend to my knees, dumbbells out in front. As I set my hips back, I'm gonna try to keep my chest up and nice and tall. And I'm gonna go down just a little bit further than what you would do during a good morning. And then once I feel that nice good pull in those hamstrings, I'm gonna drive it right back up, guys. So a little bit of soft bend in the knees, send the hips back, drive it all the way to the top, right? So then we got those with the dumbbells. Guys, if you don't have dumbbells, just go ahead, use a backpack, use whatever you have that you can hold, whether it's an odd object or whatnot. So just kind of make do with what you have over there. And then we're gonna go ahead and grab a broomstick or maybe a PVC pipe, right? I want you to figure out trying to get some elbow punches. So really driving those elbows up nice and high, okay? Try not to rotate the torso too much, okay? We got 5 on each side, and then we got the plank deadlift, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come out into a plank, okay? Round our elbows, and just one at a time, lifting the leg up, so on and so forth. Just make sure we got a nice good pause in between, and try to utilize that core as best we can, try to minimize rotation as much as we can, okay? And then we got the fire hydrants, right? So we're gonna kind of get on all fours here, all right? So I'm starting here, all right? Hands and knees. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my leg, still keeping it in the same position that it is. I'm going to shift it out to the side, okay? We should feel this right in our hips and glutes, guys, okay? And trying to make sure that we're not opening the hip up way too much, guys. Try to keep those hips nice and square. Then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna grab our dumbbells or kettlebells or whatever we have that we have at the time at the house. We're gonna go into a goblet squat, or, okay, either just hold like this. Some people like to hold it like this. Either way is fine, guys. What we'll do is we're gonna kind of think of the position where we're trying to keep our chest up nice and high. We're initiating from the hips first and on our way down, trying to stay nice and vertical, right? So all I'm gonna do, send the hips back. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, just kind of pause for me for a second, and then come right back up, right? 1, 2, 3, right back up, okay? Try to keep the whatever object that we have at the time for our chest relatively really close, okay? And then we got the strict press, right? So kettlebells, dumbbells, whatever object we have at the time, all we're thinking about is keen to take these dumbbells here. I'm gonna take the heads of the dumbbells, touch my shoulders, and as I kind of squeeze my butt, keep my abdomen nice and tight, all I'm gonna do is kind of drive all the way up, big biceps to ears. As soon as they touch those shoulders, go right back to the next rep, okay? And then we got the push press, right? So all we're gonna do is kind of set down, right? So kind of dip and drop, right? sure we catch it every time. And then we go into the push jerk, right? So now we still dip, but when we extend, we get underneath and we stand it up. Okay? 5 on each side as well, okay? And that will be your warm-up. So it's just going through it one time, one round through all of that, guys. And then we're gonna go ahead, set some things to the side, and we're gonna grab a kettlebell or whatever object we have at the house to get ready for some goblet squats, or in your case at home, if we don't have any kind of kettlebell, we're utilizing anything that we can have in a front rack position, okay? Whether it's a backpack or whatever you have at the house, okay? So that brings us to the strength portion, okay? Again, I'm gonna show it to you guys. All right, it's gonna be a little bit different, okay? So we have 6 sets of each movement, okay? So we have banded goblet squats with a 3-second eccentric descent, basically, okay? So I'm gonna count to 3, kind of like what I was doing during the warm up. 1, 2, 3. As soon as we get to the bottom of that squat, driving it right back up. But we're gonna utilize a band with it, okay? And then we also have 6 sets of wall ball rotational throws, okay? So this is a little bit different. I don't want you to think of the heavier the ball, the better. I want you to think of explosiveness, utilizing your torso, utilizing your hips to generate as much power as you can to get that ball driven into the wall. And you'll see here in just a second, guys. But let's go ahead, let's talk about the actual banded goblet squats, okay? So I'm gonna have a band, and you know, at home, if we don't have a band, we don't have to worry about the banded issue at all. Just worry about the 3 seconds on the way down and driving straight up, okay? But since I got the band here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put it down on the ground. I'm gonna go ahead and step on it, okay? Still have my feet about shoulder width apart. I'm gonna kind of go ahead and place my head through, okay? Now, as I come ahead, I'm gonna pick up my kettlebell, right? And keep it in that goblet position. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna control that descent, okay? Count to 3. So I'm gonna set my hips back, do 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to explode all the way back up, okay? Show it from the side, okay? Same thing, 1, 2, 3, explode at the top, guys, okay? And you will do 5 of those, followed by, okay, some good mornings, right? So now I'm gonna go ahead, initiate the hips back, all right? I'm gonna just go ahead and keep continually pushing those back until I feel that pull in those hamstrings, and then I'm going to drive it right back up, okay? So we have 5 of those as well, okay? So think of it more of as a hip hinge the entire time. Now, the wall ball, okay? So we want to get a nice good distance here, so maybe like a few feet here, and I'm actually going to set myself into like a power position, and I will pivot, throwing the ball right into this wall here, okay? So I want to think about explosiveness. I want to generate a lot of force using my hips as best I can, guys, to be able to drive that ball like I'm trying to drive that ball right through the wall, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I got the ball, okay? From here, okay, all I'm gonna do is kind of get in that power position. So slightly set those hips back, push those knees out, have the ball right here to my side. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pivot, okay, as I'm throwing that ball into the wall, okay? So my leg here, okay, my outside leg is going to pivot with it. The other leg is fine, okay? It stays where it is. It may slightly kind of shoot out just a little bit, but ideally it's gonna stay where it is. So, real quick, okay, I'm gonna set my hips back, set the ball into it, and as I drive through, and I'm gonna catch it, okay? So again, set the hips back, catch it, okay? And then you got 6 on one side, you're gonna flip over and do 6 on the other side. You may realize that one side may be a little weaker than the other, which is completely fine and normal, guys. So just kind of think about lightweight, faster, more explosive, okay? Now, once we get done with those, you'll have 90 seconds to complete each one of those, okay? We're gonna get into the workout, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead, grab the workout, and guess what, guys? We got 4 rounds for time, right? All right, so it looks like we got here, all right? We got 15 air squats, we got 10 dumbbell push press, and 40 dubs or 80, right? Signal unders, okay? So back to the jump ropes over here, okay? All right, so real quick, air squats, right? It's just like what we preach, right? We wanna go as far as we can, going down to pretty much just going down or keeping it in an active position, if you will. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and set my hips back. I'm gonna push my knees out to allow my hips to sink in. And what I'm gonna do is once I get into that active bottom position, I'm going to extend the back up, right? So just back up. We got 15 of those, right? And then we're gonna grab our object at the time that we have at the house, or if you're gonna use the dumbbells, okay? We got the push press, kind of like what we did during the warm-up session, right? So head of the dumbbell right here on my shoulders, just kind of getting the dip, and then drop, right? Just like so, think biceps to ears, guys. And then we got 40 dubs, so that's either skipping the jump rope right underneath our legs twice, or just doing 80 single udders. So it's gonna be double the reps if we're doing singles, okay? So we got 4 rounds for time for that matter, okay? So a little bit different for you guys. I think you'll enjoy it, but it's something different. Just kind of come in, do work, get it done, guys, okay? We'll see you then.